Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in the garage for another First Impressions video, and I guess a frequently asked question. And when it comes to the question that I'm going to answer today, I'm probably going to get a little bit frustrated and animated because it comes from a position of ignorance and selfishness, which I have kind of addressed in the past, but I want to reiterate it because I get it a lot in many of my videos. But I'm going to save that for the end. I want to talk about guns first. The first thing I want to share with you on how it performed at the range is the Infinity Synical. Now, if you follow the channel, you know I recently took this to the range. I had some issues with it, and I brought it back here to the garage. I tried to fix it and clean it on camera, and then I took it back last night. So what were the initial issues I had? Well, I thought it was all one issue. When I took this to the range the first time, when I tried to load it, chamber the first round, well, really, the first magazine ran flawless, but it was when the gun got a little bit dirty, the first round of the magazine would not really want to chamber. It felt like it's just not going in there right. Maybe the chamber's out of spec or something, but every other round was fine in the previous magazine. And then when I tried to rack the slide, it felt like it was binding. It would get caught, especially when it's in battery, and then to pull it out of battery, it was like, oh, really hard. So I took apart the recoil spring assembly. I think I put it back together right, everything perfectly lined up. I don't like the way this recoil spring assembly comes apart. It's not the toolless design, and it's hard to get in and out. But I cleaned it, put it all back together, thinking, okay, this is gonna fix the issue. So I took it back to the range last night, and unfortunately, one of the issues is still persisting. So the issue that was fixed was the binding inside the gun. It no longer, after having 200 more rounds put through it, the slide works smoothly. It doesn't bind, there's no friction, it's running great. That issue, I think, was solved, and 100% was the recoil spring assembly and the guide rod. So you just have to be careful putting that back in the gun and making sure everything lines up. The other issue that I had, which did not resolve itself, was the chambering of the first round of a magazine. So like before, my first magazine, of course, I cleaned this gun before retaking it back to the range. First magazine was flawless, and let me tell you, the accuracy with this pistol is unbelievable. You can't, I guess you can't buy accuracy, but you can come close. And this gun is damn accurate. It is damn accurate. I'm just an average gun guy, and it really is fascinating to me how I can shoot two guns back to back. A mid-tier gun, let's say a Smith & Wesson M&P, and then I'll shoot something like this. I'm the same person on the same range trip shooting the same caliber. And the Glock or Smith & Wesson might have a group like this. I use the same shooting technique with this gun, and literally it's like this, and I'm putting holes through holes. And it has to do with the ergonomics of the gun and the consistency of the gun. And this 2011 now is the top when it comes to accuracy for me of all the ones I have reviewed. The Staccato XL with the island barrel is the previous record holder, and I would say that one's in a close second. The accuracy of this one is unbelievable, and it shoots way better than the other Infinities I have shot. But then I got to the second magazine, and like before, it has a really difficult time chambering the first round. It appears that the round is being picked off the top of the magazine. It goes halfway into the chamber, and then it like binds up a little bit. Not enough where it's stuck, but there's friction inside the chamber that if I push the slide forward, I can force it into battery. But it doesn't have enough strength, whether it be the recoil spring or maybe it's just dirty, to chamber that round. So I had gotten all the way back to the range and tried to fix this. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to push it lightly into battery, which I was able to do. I'm going to fire it, and we're going to see, will it pick up the next round? If it doesn't, it helps me diagnose the problem. and I'll document it and talk about it in the range report. Well, lo and behold, after forcing that first round into the chamber, the rest of the magazine runs great. Okay, so why would the first round not chamber, but the second round will? And it's not like I'm, releasing the slide slowly or anything. I mean, I'm pulling it back and letting it go home fast, and it will not chamber right. So I was like, okay, the gun's shooting accurately, low recoil, it's running reliably after that first round. Let's continue the rest of the range report. It continued to be accurate. It ran hollow points fine, but it still had that first round issue. And I ran a number of different ammunitions through it, and they all experienced the same thing. So it's not a particular ammo brand issue. It literally is a chamber issue or a feed ramp issue. So I think that maybe the tolerances of the chamber might be a little bit too tight. So once it gets a little bit of carbon in it, it's just too tight. I know they're going for absolute accuracy, but I feel like maybe this needs to get sent back and have the barrel looked at and tweaked just a little bit. But it didn't matter if I was running hollow points, ball ammunition, all different weights. We had the same issue across the board. So it's just that first round in every magazine, which obviously made the quick magazine change test kind of difficult. So I had to load it, and I think I actually got the first round to go in on that one. Then boom, 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 slide locked open, inserted the new magazine, tried to close it. It didn't close, and I had to push it and then finish the test. But I just had tons of issues with it. I did have a couple of failures to fire, but I think it was primer issues with the ammunition. I'm not really sure if it was the hammer spring weight. So I'm going to chalk that one up to the ammo, because it was some of the cheaper ammo I was testing with it. But overall, the accuracy potential of this firearm is off the chart. And I did not think I would ever get to shoot a 2011 any better than the Staccato XL. And this one is more accurate. And I'm just an average gun guy. And it makes me look like an amazing shooter. It really does. It really does. So it just has some issues when it comes to specs or once it gets dirty. But besides that, it's a good gun. But of course, I'm going to deduct a lot of points because I can only test the example that I have in front of me. And for the price of this pistol, I feel like it should run right out of the box. But of course, I will show everything on camera. I do not hide things from people. And often people will say, well, you should fix that problem. You should send it back to them and then review it before, or re-review it before you release the video. I'm like, listen, that's not being fair to people. That's not being honest to people. Because what if you buy it and a whole bunch of these Infinities have the same issue? Well, you're going to be like, you didn't warn us about this. Well, I'm showing you the whole process, everything I discover. And remember, I only have an example of one. So is this the only Infinity that does this? Could be. I don't know. But I document everything, and every data point I think is important. So the Infinity Synical, an extremely expensive 2011 that is amazingly accurate, a lot of fun to shoot when you don't have to force that first round out of the magazine into the chamber. All right, the next thing is not even a firearm, and it's not even something that I am reviewing, but something I had a problem with. And that is going to be the Aimpoint Micro T2 2MOA. So this little red dot was the red dot that was on the HKMR 556A4, which currently is in the range bag and in the back of my trunk, because right now it's 8 o'clock at night and I'm probably going to go to the range here in a few minutes once I finish this video. So I didn't want to get the whole thing out. Now on that rifle, which I tried to review, it does not have backup iron sights. Now backup iron sights may be installed by you. I don't think they come stock on the gun. But the owner D had only put this red dot on. And of course, it's an Aimpoint with a B&T mount. And you're talking like 2 high-end companies. So why in the world is this red dot sitting on my workbench? And why did I have to come back here and put a cheap CV Life red dot on that HK? Well, it's because this red dot flickers and it has some type of either electronic or battery issue. So I wasted about 30 rounds of 5.56, which I try to be as judicious as possible in my range reports because I only have so much ammo. And so if it takes me 30 rounds to diagnose a problem, that is a lot of time and a lot of money, okay? And it adds up. And so when I have these terrible range trips like this, it eats into the cost of running a channel. So what I discovered is when I was shooting this, the first magazine, it would essentially flicker. I could see I'm shooting, and then whoop, it goes out. And I finished the kind of the first magazine portion of the test. So I was like, okay, so not a big deal. I'm going to check the battery. I'm going to make sure it's screwed down, that kind of thing. And so we do have a battery compartment here on the side, which looks like it has like a Noveski mark on it. So I don't know if this was like a specially branded cap or something that came on a Noveski. I'll have to ask my friend D. But I took out the battery. I was like, okay, so it's probably just the battery cap's not in there right. So I took the battery cap out, and it has a little rubber gasket, O-ring kind of thing, which goes into the cap. And it won't stay in there. Now, I was thinking to myself, well, that's not really a big deal. I mean, I can force it right there into that little channel. It looks like everything's right, and there's the battery. So I put it in upside down to make sure that would have friction to put the battery completely against the, I guess, I don't know, do you call them anodes? Or whatever, the little prongs where the charge of the battery goes into the dot. So I made sure to screw it down nice and tight. And I turned it on. Let me see if this one's on now. No, it's not. Okay, so it would flicker on. And what happened on the second magazine is it would turn on and then it would just go out again. So something internally is wrong with this. I then changed the battery. I was like, okay, maybe it's a battery issue. Could be a battery issue. So I always have extra batteries for these. Popped a brand new, fresh battery out of the box into it. Same issue, same issue. So I don't know if it's an internal electronic issue, if it's a battery compartment issue, or if it's a cap issue. But something in there is not making consistent contact. And when you finally get it to run, then when you shoot it again, poof, it goes out. And so I couldn't finish the review. So I had to bring that rifle back. And I popped on my old CV Life, like $49.99 red dot that I've reviewed here. It runs great. Runs great. So aim point, I'm disappointed in you. And there's something wrong with this. And I'm letting my friend D know. So this is another reason why I think I need to make a video about this. I personally believe all firearms should have backup iron sights. I am not a fan of the 2011 pistols that don't have them. Now, this Infinity does. We have a front sight here, rear sight in the back. I think these go through the red dot. So if your red dot goes out or it becomes loose, you can still use the iron sights. If you have a rifle, even a short-barreled rifle, I think you should have backup iron sights. I feel like so many people are becoming too reliant on these things. And these can fail. Everything from batteries to electronics. Heat can destroy these. No, I mean, it's not a common problem, but these can go out. They're not going to last forever. And now guns are being made and shipped without backup iron sights. And I feel like whether you carry a gun with a red dot or just run a rifle with just an optic like this, you run a risk of having a problem when you need your gun to go bang and you can't aim it. You need backup iron sights. I don't care if you think they're ugly. I don't care if you think they're unnecessary. I don't care if you run these all the time. But man, this has a quick detach lever. If I would have had backup iron sights on that rifle, I just would have popped this thing off and finished the review. But I couldn't. So had to come back here and put the cheap red dot on it. So anyway, that's kind of a little gripe, but I wanted to share my first impressions with an Aimpoint Micro T2. And I have never had an Aimpoint fail on me, ever. So there's something wrong with this. Cap, battery compartment, or internal electronics, something in it is wrong. So I need to let my friend Dean know. All right, so that's the first impressions, and I'll have a few more stuff for you to talk about, or for us to talk about, because I'm going to the range tonight, and hopefully there won't be anybody there. All right, so now let me answer a frequently asked question, and I might get a little bit animated on this one because I feel passionate about this one, because I feel like I work extremely hard here at the channel to produce good quality content. And I always say average gun content for average gun people by an average gun guy. And so on a few of my videos in the past week or so, and it's not the same person, it's multiple people, okay? And it's not that they're necessarily mean or doing like ad hominem attacks on me. They are not understanding the realities of running a YouTube channel. So the comment is, and the number can vary. I'll get somebody say, your reviews are okay, but they're not good reviews until you shoot 1,000 rounds through them. And you need to do what, and they'll always list somebody else, you know, like a big channel that has 1 million subscribers or more, and go, they're doing it right because they put these guns through 1,000 round test, and you're only putting, or we only see on camera, 150 to 200 rounds. Okay? Sometimes people will say you need to do 500 rounds or 750 rounds or whatever, you know, and they'll say, you're not a good reviewer, you don't really test these guns. And my response to this is, if you want me to run 1,000 rounds through a gun, there's a couple ways we can make this happen, okay? Because 1,000 rounds of 9mm 45 or 5.56, for example, which are the more common calibers, are still pretty expensive, but the rare calibers like 300 Blackout, 357 SIG, it's going to cost a lot of money. You can push a little button at the bottom of any of my videos, my main channel, this channel, whatever. There's one called a Super Thanks. If you want to calculate how much 1,000 rounds cost of whatever caliber, you can donate that much money to the channel, but you have to add 40% because that's what YouTube's going to take from that. You can join my Patreon. You can support my channel. You can contact me. My email address is in the comment section below, and I will account for every single penny that you send me. If you're like, I want to see 1,000 round test of a Glock 19, okay, I will say this is what I can get 9mm for 1,000 rounds. You can send me that exact amount, and I'll send you the receipt back. I'll make the video, and I will film it for you. Okay? I'm that easy. I'm not even asking for, like, money for me. I'll just make the video. And all you got to do is afford the ammunition. But my channel, as I'm filming this right now, my main channel, only has about 33,000 subscribers. Okay? As compared to the millions that the channels that many of these people reference. Which means that my revenue stream is very small. I already lose money running the channel, okay? And this is not about me griping about money. It's about the realities of the situation, okay? If I spent, let's just run the numbers here. Let's just say I'm shooting a caliber that's 40 cents a round, okay? 40 cents a round, which is probably about average when you factor in all the different calibers. That means 1,000 rounds is $400. That means that video on its face, this the first cost is $400. Then there's my time, okay, because I take time away from my job, my family. You know, my time is worth something, okay. And then of course I have all the equipment I have to bring out and the guns and all that kind of stuff. So let's just say that video, if I did 1,000 rounds on a Glock 19, it's going to cost me about $500 to make. Okay, let's just average that out and say $500. That video on my channel will get maybe 1,000 views in the first 2 weeks, which means I'll get about $9 from it. Financially, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, now those other big channels, now I am very blessed and lucky that I have an ammo sponsor, but trust me, he's not going to give me, see, I do 2 videos a week on guns, and if there's 4 weeks in a month, that's 8 videos. So let's just say averaging 500, that'd be $4,000 a month in ammo costs and time costs just for me to film 2 videos a week for a month. $4,000. and I'm making $20 a video. How's that going to work out? I don't think people understand the realities. You know, I was talking to my friend Matt from the Wyoming Gun Project, and he was saying that he gets a lot of stupid comments about people saying, you need to review guns this way, you need to do this. And his response to them, I think, is absolutely perfect. That he says, if you think you can do it better, do it. But guess what? You're not. You don't have a YouTube channel. You're not putting it out there because you got to go buy a camera. You got to go buy all the camera equipment, the tripods, the SD cards. You got to buy the lights. You got to buy the microphones. You have to get a membership to the range. Just by the, I pay a monthly membership to my range to have that VIP access that I can go in the middle of the night. Okay, it's a lot of money. A lot of money. You have to buy the ammunition. You have to get the guns. You have to do the editing. You have to buy the subscription to the editing software. Like I have a subscription to Adobe Premiere every month. So I'm paying range fees. I'm paying Adobe Premiere fees. I have ammo costs. I have time costs. I have things like tripods, SD cards I'm constantly having to buy. I break tripods. I break lights. I break sound stuff because it just wears out. So you can do it. If you can do it better, and your GunTube heroes can do it, then go watch them or you do it yourself. And this is just a channel for entertainment purposes only. That's it. I do it. I try to get good information to people, but it drives me bonkers that people don't pay for their entertainment. The only thing people have to do is watch a freaking ad, okay? And they even bitch and complain about that, which, by the way, I don't control the ads on YouTube. I don't control the ads. So if you're watching one of my videos and you start seeing something for boots or purses or some, I don't control any of that. That has to do with your own algorithmic watching of videos, okay? I don't select how many ads roll. I don't select what they're about. I have no control over that. The only thing I have is an ad read for Brownworks grips because he provides the ammunition for the range reports. And I'm going to be happy to do that because he helps keep this channel going and defray the costs. So if you're one of those people that's adamant that I don't do it right, well, understand that the big channels have ammo. They don't. Do you really think Coleon Noir pays for any of his ammo? You know how he has that thing for that ad for Nosler ammunition? Trust me, he calls them up and is like, guys, I'm reviewing these guns. And they're like, how much do you need? 10,000? 15,000 rounds? Okay, just make sure you mention us in the video. It's the way it works. I don't get that. I don't get that. I am blessed beyond my wildest dreams that I even have an ammo sponsor like Brownworks, and he's not even an ammo dealer. He's just he's a grip maker. And he'll give me enough to defray the cost. I still have to buy ammo on my own for these range reports. And I'm losing money. So if you want to see a 1,000-round test on every video, okay, I'm happy to do it. And I will account for every penny. If you want to become a sponsor of my channel, and this is not, as I said, I'm not bitching about money because I'm fine doing what I do. I'm just saying, but if you're one of those people that's like, you got to do this. And by the way, if I did a 1,000-round test, the ones that I'm doing now, people only watch 6 to 7 minutes into a 30-minute video anyway. So most of the shooting people won't even see. Because people's attention spans are this short because they want to see everything in a YouTube short because their brains have been rotted because they can only watch short content and digest short snippets. But if you want to see a 1,000-round test, contact me. I will account. I will show you every receipt. I'll show you the video early, and I will give you full credit if you buy 1,000 rounds because you want to see whatever gun tested to 1,000 rounds. I will do it for you. I said I will thank you personally. If you're a company, I'll do an ad read for you. If you whatever you want, and as I said, I will give you all the receipts and say, here's the rounds I bought. Here's the rounds on camera. You can see I'm not asking for anything more. So stop bitching and complaining, saying you don't put enough rounds to it until you're willing to support content creators that are losing money to bring you entertainment and information. Stop being a little bitch and complaining because it's not your money. It's not your time. You're free to make content on your own. You can create your own YouTube channel. You can support content creators. You can do whatever you want. Or you don't have to do anything and just watch. But if you don't do anything and just watch, just shut the hell up. And be happy that there are people out there that want to create the content for you. Because trust me, unless you are Grand Thumb Hickok 45, whatever, that has at least 300,000 subscribers and more, you're making no money. You're losing money. Even channels that have 100,000 subscribers are losing money because the cost of what we do to create the content is so high. I'm not complaining. I won't even bring this up. I don't talk about it until people think you need to spend more money and do this because I think it should be done this way. Well, then help me do it, because I have to buy food, take care of my family, I have insurance to buy, I have all these other things that regular people have to do in their regular life that I couldn't do if I bought 1,000 rounds for every single gun. Okay? So that is the bitching and complaining hat being taken off. Okay? So if you understand, and as I said, if you want to help out the channel in any way, I am grateful. If you don't, I am happy and honored beyond words that you just watch my content and support me that way. Just giving me a thumbs up and the fact that you're subscribed is awesome. Okay? And I'm happy. And it means a lot to me. But if you demand more, especially things when you start to calculate out costs, then instead of just telling me what I should do, help me do what you want me to do. I'm very transparent here. Very honest with product reviews. I'm very honest with everybody. Okay? And even my Patreon, right now, as I'm filming this video right now, you would know how much money I get in Patreon every month? $75. That's it. Before they're cut, just taken. So I probably get $72 or $70. That's it. Now, how much ammo can I buy for $70? Three boxes, maybe, depending on the caliber. Or what happens when I need to buy a new SD card or a new tripod. In fact, the lights I just bought for the channel, they were $50. So that's almost a month of Patreon right there. And the extra $20 goes towards a box of ammunition. That's it. That's all I make from it. It's not me making money. I'm not doing this for a living. So, if you don't want to support the channel, it's fine. But don't bitch and complain. So anyway, that's my frustration in answering a question. Why did I do 500 round or 1,000 round tests on the guns to really show what they're capable of? And that is the answer. All right, there you go. So it is now 8:20 in the evening. I need to upload this video and, of course, get to the range. So if you watch to the end of this video, the word of the day is going to be frustrated. Frustrated is the word of the day. If you want to use that word in a comment, I know you watched to the end and you're a true vault dweller, because I am frustrated with the people that want everything and are unwilling to either create the content themselves or support the people that will. So there you go. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and thank you for joining me here in the garage. And, as always, thanks for watching.